But he is begging so hard now. He's actually begging more than he's ever begged in his entire life.
Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds y'all in good spirits, and if not, at least you're not DSP. And in this video, we're going to cover Kiwi Farms admin Josh, aka Null. He's going to go over this crazy uptick in DSP's begging. Now, he tried to convince us that as of late, things have been better than ever, but the data says otherwise. So let's see what he has to say.
This is again from our boy Neger Psychology, which is Dutch for Negro psychology, keeping with our Juneteenth theme, which has had...
Hold on, what did he say?
Absolutely no impact on the stream whatsoever so far. DSP is apparently in the gutter. He apparently is begging harder than ever before. And I have taken a gander at DSP streams vicariously. And basically, it's really weird. DSP has tried to adopt the Kino Casino mannerism for grifting, where, you know, PPP is like really aggressive, and that's one of like his biggest put-offs, I think, to most people, is that he flat out just says like, can we, like, someone gives him like 10 subs and he's like, 10 subs, buddy, you got to give me 20 subs for this. And some people find that funny, and other people find it really grating. So that's one of like the biggest turnoffs for Kino Casino for most people. But as I've said many times before, if you're funny, you can get away with a lot more than if you're not funny. PPP is very funny, in my opinion. If you disagree with that, you probably hate him.
I will add that not only being funny, but being charismatic. I made this example before, right? But people will often look at somebody like a Gordon Ramsay as somebody who's overly aggressive and, you know, some would say an asshole. Because he has charisma, he's likable, right? So he gets away with it. Phil, you know, he doesn't have any of that. So naturally, when he does it, it comes off even worse than normal begging somehow, which is crazy.
Because if you strip away the fact he's funny, he's a fat, loud Canadian, and if you're not laughing along with him, you're probably grating your fucking teeth in misery. Okay, PPP is funny. Darksydephil, not funny. Darksydephil is one of the most painfully unfunny people that has ever lived and has ever maintained his streaming career. So when
My goodness, what a statement. No, I can't say I disagree. I mean, can any of you? I mean, let's be real. I mean, the track record speaks for itself. What does DSP have? 67,000 videos, something like that. And then he still has to come on stream and beg every day for money. It's ridiculous. I mean, just off his backlog alone, he should be able to sustain himself. Seriously.
Darksydephil gets on his stream and says, I hereby declare that I will get 5 Subaruskis right now. It doesn't work because he's not funny and nobody gives him the subs. And then it's kind of like crowd diving. You know, it's a big, when PPP says, I got to get 50 subs for this. If he doesn't get 50 subs, it's like he tried to crowd surf and everyone's like, holy fuck, there's a fat guy trying to dive into the crowd, run the fuck away. And it would look really bad. That's what I'm trying to say. So he has to stick that, basically. And if you stop sticking that, you got to stop the shtick, because otherwise you're going to look like a fucking retard. Darksydephil doesn't understand that, and he never sticks the landing. So he tries to do the crowd surfing thing by saying, give me 5 subs, and he jumps off the platform, and he gets nothing.
No. Phil believes that since he gives you the well laugh at the end, that all is well in the world, and he can say whatever he wants to say. So even though he's couching it as a joke, we know realistically that's how he really feels. You know, he just throws that on the back end so he can maintain deniability. You know, he hit you with the laugh. He was just joking, dude. Right? You know how it goes.
He gets no money. He gets no donos. He gets no subs. And he just looks extremely fucking desperate. It's one of those things where it's like, either it's hot, and, you know, when the business is hot, you can do no right or no wrong. And when the business is cold, you can do no right. It's like that. If you're not hot, if you're not the hot young thing, okay, you can't do the give me subs or, you know, shtick. It doesn't work. He hasn't learned that. And he's
It's very true. And that's true in life. Oftentimes that's why it's so important to be likable, because people will oftentimes allow you to go around the rules sometimes when they like you. There really are no rules in certain aspects when it comes to people that are likable. People like you. They'll let you get by with certain things. It's just the truth.
mystified utterly and completely by the continued success of the Keno Casino and his continued failure. So he has started to really ramp up the begging. So Pig Pig Go is a site that I think was ran by somebody who's on the
Your boy Josh been paying attention. He like to oftentimes act like he's above it all, but I mean, at the core, he's the Kiwi Farm admin. So I mean, you can't be hovering that high above everything. But look at this chart, man. I mean, my goodness. Now, Phil's been telling us that things have been great as of late. I mean, if he just keeps on this trajectory, I mean, the sky's the limit, right? If that's the case, why does this chart look like this, Philip? We need answers.
forum, and then he got really pissed off at me, or I banned him or some shit. So now it's not associated with the forum at all. But he is begging so hard now. He's actually begging more than he's ever begged in his entire life. So if you just type,
He's begging more than he's ever begged in his entire life. I'm sorry, that is so funny to me. Like, what is going on in the snort fort, man? That you're begging more than you've ever begged in your entire life. That's so crazy, man.
type the word support into this thing and you see the trend. I think these are aggregated by month or by week, maybe. I think by month. In the last month, the last 2 months, he has used the word support in his streams more than 1,500 times.
Lord have mercy. Good God in heaven. And if you're an atheist, just play along. My goodness, did y'all hear that? I'm gonna let him continue.
So across all of his streams for those calendar months, he has said aloud to his supporters, I need support. I need your support. I need support to maintain the show. 1,500 times. Which, if let's just do the math. I assume that he's streamed because he does it like a job, like a normal job. He does like 8 hours a day, 5 times a day, 4 weeks out of a month, right? So that's 160 hours, I think. Yeah, that sounds right to me. 40 times 4. So then we divide, I want to say 1,500 by 160, and it's almost 10 times per stream or per hour. 10 times per hour, he is telling his audience, I need support. That's what that amounts up to. If he's streaming 40 hours a week, which I think he does, and he's streaming 40 hours a week every week, he's saying this 10 times an hour, man. 10 times an hour. He's saying, you got to give me support. And just the word support. He's not even saying like this isn't also super chats. He's not saying chats or Venmo or donos or any other word. He's just saying support.
No, I'll let him go on because oftentimes when you look at charts and you look at numbers, if you don't understand what the parameters are, things can be skewed that's why it was so important for him to, lay out his whole point when he said, this is just the word support. This is not contributions and subs and tips and all the other things that he associate with getting money from people. So really, if this chart was all encompassing, I mean, it would be crazy. I mean, and we all know this, right? But it's another thing to see it laid out, and actually chart it, and you can see the trends and all that. I mean, we see it, but I mean, my goodness, this is ridiculous.
Which is really quite incredible. Such as, by the way, if you go to maddie.live/support, that actually works. I forgot I set that up. It'll take you right to the page to show me how to give me money. Someone said I got to learn how to grift more. It's true. I do have to learn how to grift more. I'm a shitty grifter, chat. I find it embarrassing to ask people for money. I haven't gotten over that yet. That's why I'm such a shitty grifter.
Most people find it embarrassing to ask other people for money. Even when you are experiencing hardship, you're going to look internally. You're going to look to the people that are closest to you to try to make something happen without going outside of your orbit, so to speak. to ask somebody to help you with something financially. That's most of us, right? Because we have pride. And this is a great indicator of how important shame actually is. And I know, we live in a shameless society as of late, but it's a strong motivator, man. A strong motivator. And you take those things out, you get people like DSP. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.